All right, so we can kick things off. Welcome everyone to today's live demo. Get your LMS up and running in minutes. Today, I am joined by Aston, who is going to deliver today's 30-minute session. He will be covering some really exciting topics, how easy it is to launch Learn 365 in minutes, how to use AI for building custom courses, how you can push learning to specific teams, and also he'll be digging into the platform experience from a learner's perspective as well. So lots of good things to get into today. Aston, if you want to go ahead and share your screen, I will set things up for you and we can get started.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jamie. So let me go ahead and share. And let's see here. And are we all good to go?
Yes.
Yep, there we go. Perfect. All right. Awesome. So yeah, thanks again, Jamie. So yeah, like Jamie mentioned, I'm Aston Reyes. I am the technical pre-sales engineer at Zensai. And basically, we want to showcase just how quick and easy it is to get up and running on the LMS Learn 365 as quickly as possible from start to finish when it comes to basically like a general launch. So to do that, I've gone into our admin center for one of our demo environments. This webinar is not going to focus on the actual installation, but that being said, that installation does take like 15 minutes. So it doesn't take too long to get to this point. But now we're at this point where we have to create what we call a course catalog. What course catalogs are in Learn 365 are basically a site, specifically a SharePoint site that we create to house our courses in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that we are working on a new company called Nosedive Knickknacks. They make toys. And they may or may not be a competitor to Microsoft's Tailspin toys. But basically, all I have to do to create a new course catalog is if I'm a global tenant administrator of my Microsoft 365 tenancy, I can go in and select create course catalog, and then I can just give this a name. So Nosedive Knickknacks. And then basically continue this trend of situating this. So all I have to do is hit save in this case, because a lot of the other stuff was just automatically there. And then I'm going to hit on this little bell icon. And what that will do is that it'll just basically show me the process of creating that course catalog site. So it'll take really quick because it's just going to spin up a brand new SharePoint site within my Microsoft 365 tenancy. And then I'll be able to go in and fiddle around with it, start creating courses and stuff like that. While we're waiting for this to spin up, was there any questions so far, Jamie, on the Q&A?
Nope, no questions yet.
Awesome. But yeah, basically, and we're almost done. There we go. So Nosedive Knickknacks now shows up. I can go ahead and I have some more options. I'm going to click on this view course catalog. What this will do is that it'll take me directly to that SharePoint site that I just created. Now, that being said, this SharePoint site is a tried and true SharePoint site. So you'll see that it'll say like communication sites get more inspired by SharePoint and whatnot. And because it's a traditional tried and true SharePoint site, I can modify it just like any other SharePoint site. So for example, if I select change the look on my settings, I can easily throw in in this case, I'm going to go to header and I'll change the site logo for our Nosedive Knickknack because I already prepared that over here. So I'm going to get this guy and I'm going to get our little logo just so I can have a bit more fun with this. I'll change it for both, or I'll just do that. So yeah, you can see just how quickly we can go in and start modifying this to our liking. But on top of that, basically two things also show up on here outside of the normal SharePoint site. So that's going to be our course catalog page and our training dashboard page, because basically what we did earlier is that not only did we create a SharePoint site, we also added in Learn 365 on top of it. So that way we have these two pages. We have the training dashboard page, which basically will showcase to your learners basically a general homepage for them to go in and see dashboard-like functionality. So being able to go in and overview their training, be able to see their skills, things like that. But on top of that as well too, we have the course catalog page. And the course catalog page is going to be the page that will showcase the courses that are in this particular catalog. So to really showcase, come on, it's funny because it's empty, but to really showcase the concept of how fresh we're starting with this, you'll see that this page is basically empty. This catalog is basically empty because there's no courses in it yet. So we're going to show you how quick and easy it is to basically get a ton of courses really quickly, including creating your own courses using files that you already have. So to do that, I can go back into the admin side of things. Because I'm an administrator, I have access to this little button here. This is otherwise hidden from your learners, but this will take me directly to manage our course catalog. Which I could have also done earlier if it went straight to manage, but instead I went to view because I wanted to show you guys that. But now we're back to our admin center side of things. And basically, we have some pre-made courses on here that is about our products, but they're in a status of unpublished, so, which means that basically you can use them if you want, you can turn them on if you want, or otherwise you can also just delete them if you want. But if not, we want to get up and running quickly, right? So Nosedive Knickknacks, they need to get their new hire onboarding created because that's what most organizations tend to need an LMS for. Basically, a quick way to get all their employees up and running as quickly and efficiently as possible. So one of the ways to do that is with our AI functionality. So a lot of buzzwords with AI these days, a lot of things with AI. AI is only as good as what you can utilize it for as a tool, right? So that being said, when we hit this create course, and we're going to ignore the feedback for now, sorry, marketing, you'll be able to create a course using AI by just filling out the form on here. Now, in this case, what I'm going to say is new hire onboarding, just to show you how quickly I can get situated with creating a course, right? So I'm not even going to add more than just this. I'm just going to say new hire onboarding, and I'm just going to hit generate. I'm not even going to bother with everything else. And what's going to do is that it's going to use AI to automatically populate the required fields that I need to create my training within Learn 365. So you can see here, new hire onboarding, an introductory course for new employees, so on and so forth. So pretty good start. Basically, it's already getting up and running rather quickly with the creation of a course, right? But I didn't turn on some of the other stuff. I didn't turn on content. I didn't turn on like create a quiz and stuff like that, but that's okay. Main reason why is that I did it that way is because I actually want to create what we call a training plan. Now, what training plans are basically a way for you to gather multiple courses into a set plan. So in this case, I want to create a new hire onboarding training plan. And I'll change the terminology. So an introductory training for new employees and so on and so forth. Basically, I'm going to go back in here and play around with this over time. But for now, I can leave it unpublished and I can just go ahead and hit create. So in a short amount of time, I already created the basic foundations of what I want my new hire onboarding to be. Now, that being said, what does it look like, though, when I do want to create something that is a bit more beefy? Well, let's hit that create course with AI again. But in this case, I'm going to use this button over here, this insert text from file. What that's going to do is that it will actually allow me to go in and select a file to use as a basis of training. So in this case, I have this IT security policies. As a matter of fact, too, let me right click and open this just so you can see what it looks like on Word. If my right click would work. There we go. So I'm going to open this in Word real quick, just so that we can see what that looks like. I'm going to drag it on from my other window. And hopefully, I'm probably going to have to drag it in again. But basically, this is just an IT security policy document that we need our workers at Nosedive Knickknacks to sign, right? Or to overview and confirm that they've understood the material. So in this case, Nosedive Knickknacks, IT security policy, purpose, and scope, policy, access control, so on and so forth, right? So pretty standard stuff, but basically this is a 3-page document with 730 words, and we want to create a training out of this, right? So I'm going to just minimize that. I'm going to select that file. We're going to do open. It's going to upload that file. you'll see that it'll basically copy and paste parts of that text earlier. There's also something else that also happens too, and that is that it will actually upload the file into the course, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Otherwise, I can go in here and start playing around with the stuff that we didn't play around with earlier, right? So download generated content as a separate file, generate learning content preview on here. And let's also throw in a quiz on there as well too. Let's even turn on story mode. Define tone, let's say that we want it to be humorous. Because Nosedive Knickknacks is a funny company. And basically I can go in and say, okay, I want it to be 80% quiz passing score for the quiz that I'm adding to this course. I want it to have, say, and we'll keep it brief because I don't want to spend all this time playing around with questions, but we'll say 2 multiple choice questions, 2 multiple answer questions, 2 true or false, and 1 matching, just so that we can get a feel of how AI is being used to not only create a course using that file that we uploaded, but also a quiz based off of the information in that file. So I'm going to go ahead and hit generate. And now this will take a bit more time considering that I turned on a lot of stuff and I'm also uploading a file and whatnot. So I'll let that spin in the background. Same thing, since we have a bit of a lull. Jamie, is there any questions on the Q&A that we can ask in the time being?
Yeah, so we have, it looks like 3 questions. We'll start with the first one. What is the average additional storage and data usage added to SharePoint when using Learn 365?
So it's a great question, and basically it's very minimal because at the end of the day, the application itself doesn't necessarily get stored on SharePoint, and it's not large at all. Learn 365 is a software as a service that's an enterprise application within Azure, which basically is a bunch of technical mumbo jumbo that essentially means that the storage is minor. The actual storage increase when it comes to when you start using it is really dependent on you. And it's basically how much stuff you decide to add on to your SharePoint site. Whenever you're, let's say that you're creating a course and you're throwing in very large PowerPoints or very large video files, it really is just using your SharePoint storage in the same way that it would be on a vanilla SharePoint site. So, for example, if you were to go in and upload a very large video, it would just be that a very large video is in a document library. And a matter of fact, we actually use SharePoint document libraries as a storage mechanism for the courses that you're creating. The courses themselves, if they were just a vanilla course like we were doing earlier, is kilobytes in size, so it's negligible. Really, it's the content that will take up a majority of the space of your SharePoint site. But otherwise, most people don't even break like 300 megabytes, 400 megabytes if they're not using any videos or anything like that. So it's really small.
Cool. And to add on to that, Aston, is there a file size limit to upload for AI to create a course similar to what you just did with the Word document? And can you also upload a PowerPoint?
Yeah, so I'll put a link onto our help center for that. Those are great questions. Right now, it is just text files and video files that are supported. We are working on increasing the amount of file types that will be supported with our AI generation. That being said, it's really that you would still be able to like make a course and modify it after the fact, right? So, matter of fact, I'm actually going to show that soon. But basically, there is limitations. Let me see if I can quickly get that, but if not, we can.
Yeah, Aston, we can share that link with the follow-up email as well. And the third question in here, are there different discovery/visibility settings for courses, such as a course being available for certain groups but not others?
We're definitely going to touch base on that. Yeah, the answer is absolutely yes. So we'll go into that towards closer to the end. But yeah, so continuing on, now that we have this course generated, we now see IT security policy implementation, learn how to implement and enforce IT security policies to protect information assets, so on and so forth. I can go in here and I can continue to modify this. Earlier, we saw that there was no content because I didn't turn it on. Now that I turned it on with the course generation, we now see that this course is actually pretty beefy now. So we have Welcome to Nosedive Knickknacks, IT Security Odyssey. So they got really funny with the AI here. So I can go in, I can select anything that was being generated by AI and kind of like take a gander at what it looks like. And we could see that it actually created some course goals, it had some outcomes, and basically structured this IT course in a matter of just the time that we're just chit-chatting for the most part with a ton of content already. So what's really cool about our AI stuff overall is that like we've always had a cool LMS that allows you to quickly and easily create stuff, but it was always still a slog to manually and tediously go in and have to write all that stuff. Our AI quiz and course generation basically allows us to help really streamline and speed up that process, right? Because now we have all this stuff and we can use that as a structure and just modify it from there, right? Whereas before we would have to just create everything from scratch. But in our case, we now have this course with a bunch of different modules. What I'm also going to do too is showcase this last one, because by selecting that, we can now see that this Nosedive Knickknacks IT security policy document, that document that we uploaded is actually on here, right? And because we have full control over these courses, I can go in and modify this. So let's say that I wanted to add in our confirmation page, which is a really cool little feature. It basically just allows us to have a little page that prevents the user from continuing on so that they can read and understood the material that was presented to them, right? I can get complicated with it, but I'm just going to keep it at simple checkbox instead of using authorization, which makes it more complicated. But I can go ahead and save that. So yeah, basically I have a lot of these stuff already pre-situated. And I also have the quiz. So let's actually take a look at some of these quiz questions, just so you can see what the quiz generated. So we have those two multiple choice, multiple answer, true or false, and one matching. I can click on the little pencil to basically see what AI decided to generate for us, right? So I have basically no clue about what these things are because this is using AI. So I have no idea what these were being created. So data protection measures, which of the following are required for data protection, and all sensitive data, regular backups must be performed. Users must use strong, unique passwords, which, that being said, this is AI. So it looks like we should actually have this. You should go in and make sure that you review stuff that AI is doing, because AI can still get stuff wrong. But pretty quick and easy to go in and see all the different questions that they already situated on here, right? There's already a lot of content on here that we can play around with and modify. But basically, I'm going to go ahead and save that. And now we have that course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hit publish right now, just so that that course is available, this IT training security. I can also go in and play around with some of the settings as well too, but I'm actually going to go back and play around with that training plan that we were playing with earlier. So that's going to create the course. I can go in and click on that little cancel bell icon, and we can see that the course is starting to be provisioned. And now that course will be available as well too, basically. So that's going to spin up. To make it a bit more beefy, I'm also going to start importing courses as well too. So we have deep integrations with content vendors such as GoOne and LinkedIn Learning. So I'm just going to go in, and matter of fact, actually, I'll do LinkedIn Learning just because GoOne is the largest repository, which is great. But there's a lot of things to sift through when you are the largest repository of training. So I'm just going to go in and let's say that I wanted some new hire stuff from LinkedIn Learning, right? So I'm going to say onboarding new hires and strategic allies and blah, 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 blah. So I can just go in and start selecting this import button. It's going to already start taking those contents from LinkedIn Learning and throwing them into our training, our course catalog, so that it's available for training purposes. So I can just go in. We now see that IT security policy implementation course is ready. Let's also go in. I want to see, and I quite frankly should have actually did this a bit in reverse where we had the, oh, well, it's coming in quick enough. We're starting to see a bunch more courses, right? And I can continue that trend. I can just keep on bringing stuff in from LinkedIn, from Go1, or just rinsing and repeating the process. But basically, I'm already starting to see a lot of content on here, right? If I were to actually go back to our catalog page, I'm going to open it as a new tab. We can now go in. You'll start to see that, and quite frankly, look at the time, it's been 10 minutes. We're now starting to see some of the fruits of our labor show up, right? So in a short amount of time, we're already starting to see a bunch of courses. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to the admin side. I'm going to go to this training plan, and we're going to edit it because now we're going to actually add courses to this plan, right? So I'm going to go over here to courses. I'm going to add courses to our onboarding plan, and I'm going to say that I want that IT security course, this onboarding strategic, building successful, why not? And throw those onto there. So basically, this training plan is now composed of that IT security policy course, as well as these courses from LinkedIn Learning, right? I can continue the trend of furthering the configuration of this. So now what we're going to talk about is some of the other stuff that you can do when it comes to targeting and making sure that we actually align it to the certain audiences that we want. So here we have the settings page. We can play around with a lot of them, but I do want to basically just focus on this guy right now. So training audience targeting. Throughout Learn 365, you'll see these little bubble icons, the informative buttons, and it will actually give you an indication as to what they actually do. So in this case, target audience will enable this option to apply audience targeting for specific individual users or Active Directory groups / Office 365 groups. So if I turn this on, basically what's going to happen is that we'll have this field over here, which is the target audience. Same story. This actually has a bit more detail when you select the little informative icon. And basically it will allow you to be discriminatory on this training. I'm not actually going to use it just because this is actually for new hires in general. But basically I can go in and I can type in the names and stuff like that I wanted to on here. For speed and expediency sakes, though, we're going to go straight to actually just the people tab, and this will allow you to actually manage people within this particular training. Now, what's cool about this is that since this is a training plan, this is actually going to be a combination of all those courses that we added earlier into this set plan. So I can actually enroll people into all those courses already really quickly, right? So I can go here, I can click on enroll learners. I'm going to enroll myself just as an example, just to show you how quick and easy it is, right? I just put in my name. Currently, I'm logged in with an admin account right now, but in a bit, I'm going to switch over to my actual account so that we can see what it looks like as a learner. So I enrolled myself on there. I'm now showing up on here. I'm going to turn on this publish training so that it's available. And we can also throw in groups. So the thing is that this field is actually parsing from your EntreID, formerly Azure Active Directory. So I can type in a name of a group, let's say the sales group, and we can see all the different sales teams that are on here. So it works just like other Microsoft products when it comes to your groups. Same thing goes with like team names and stuff like that. That will show up on here too. And I can type in this case, I have a group called mock users. If you had a group called all employees, you can even do that as well too. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in. And it's going to start enrolling all of my mock users on this demo environment that I have, right? So this is actually going to take a bit more time because it's going to have, I think, 600 people in it. But I already enrolled myself. So basically, that's the admin side of things. I'm basically kind of done already with our first kind of budding stuff with the LMS. With the rest of our time now, since we only have 4 minutes, I'm going to jump into my own account. So now we're in my account. So you can see that we no longer have the orange web browser that I was on earlier. And now I'm on my personal one, or rather my work one. And I can go over here to Teams, and I'm on Learn 365. I go to the Learn 365 app. I can go over to our dashboard. And let me make sure I might need to switch over certain things. But basically, I'm going to go over to my training. And we should see that new hire onboarding training plan. So we created this a couple seconds earlier, right? We now have that new hire onboarding training plan. We have the details that were on there. We have that security IT policy, right? So I can go ahead and just hit start on here. I'm already enrolled. And basically that course that we created earlier with AI is going to be the first thing that I see, that IT security policy information. So we already see a lot of rich text, a lot of rich data on here. I'm going to go to the learning items and already start the course. It's going to welcome to my security Odyssey over here. It's going to give us that little course overview, so on and so forth. I can continue that trend, see all the different items that were on here. In a more realistic way, like what you should be doing is going through each of these and making sure that it makes sense with everything that you're doing. But it's a great start with getting up and running super quickly, right? I didn't take that much time at all to get this situated. But I'm going to go over here to the last part, which is going to be that document. So that same document that we saw earlier is now showing on here in the course. And I can go in and also select that confirmation page. Read and understood the confirmation. I can go ahead and check that, go to the next item and stuff. But now we have that quiz, and you can see that it is a live and interactive quiz. So we now have those quiz questions. I can go ahead and answer them. And we can play around with these, right? So you can see that once again, I have no idea. I'm just randomly clicking buttons here. But AI did a lot of heavy lifting for us when it comes to the content. We basically just already had that IT security policy document. We just threw it on there. We turned on a couple of things, and now we have a lot of rich content on here that we can use as a base to get up and running super quickly. But yeah, basically that is our demonstration. So with the rest of our time, Jamie, was there any other questions that we could ask before we close off today?
So we have one last question to close us off. Will this LMS accept files from Articulate, Rise, and Storyline (SCORM)
Yes.
files?
Yep, we are fully SCORM compliant, as well as other standards as well too, like AICC. Like I've made Articulate courses and threw them into the LMS before. Like I would say that probably more than 75% of our clients actually use Articulate or some other SCORM authoring tool with Learn 365. So definitely supported.
Super. And that's all we have today. Thank you, Aston, so much for your time and walking us through this. Everyone on the call, we will send the recording as well as that resource Aston mentioned earlier in today's call. We'll send that all through to you guys soon. So thank you again, and stay tuned for more live demo webinars coming up.